Heat. Miami coming in at 42-23. Lakers an NBA best 55-12. Ron Harper, Kobe Bryant, Glenn Rice, Shaquille O'Neal, and A.C. Green at the power forward. For the first place Miami Heat, Tim Hardaway and Dan Marley comprise the tandem in the backcourt with Jamal Mashburn, Alonzo Mourning, and Mark Strickland up front. No P.J. Brown, he is injured. And it is a Hall of Fame fest here with one of the greatest ever to play on the NBA hardwood, Bill Russell. His backup is next to me, John Thompson. The commissioner of the NBA is here, David Stern, along with Adam Silver from NBA Eve. And there's another Hall of Fame. To be Cal Ripken Jr. in spring training with the Baltimore Orioles, and the great quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, Bob Greasy, who led that Dolphin team in the early 70s to a 17-0 record. As you take a look at Shaquille O'Neal, very dominating yesterday, but how do you think he'll fare against Alonzo Mourning this afternoon?
Well, Alonzo's ready to play. Miami needs this game more than the Lakers. Alonzo's had a good night's sleep, and I feel Phil Jackson's got to be a little bit worried about the energy the Lakers come out with.
So here's Rice working on Mashburn and putting up a two-point shot with the rebound from Mark Strickland. He usually brings a lot of energy.
Well, it's interesting because P.J. is not here, and Alonzo starts off guarding Shaq. Strickland's out there. I think that's why P.J. will be missed, because Alonzo's taking a chance starting off guarding Shaq, I feel.
Marley looking for the alley-oop, and Strickland leaping over Ron Harper.
So that was one of the things that Coach Riley indicated to us, that he wanted to run set plays and be careful about high percentage shot. You couldn't get any more high percentage than that.
Rice squeezing it inside for Shaq with a little hesitation on Alonzo, and he gets it to go.
Well, that's very good defense right there by Alonzo, not to foul and to make Shaq make shots, keep him away from the basket. But Shaq is on a roll right now, shooting over 63% the last 7 games.
Hardaway turnover. Here comes Ron Harper, the ex-Chicago Bulls, scooping it up for 2. Lakers on top. 4-2. Jamal Mashburn, who hit the game-winning shot the other night for Miami and Cleveland. Alonzo Mourning, another shot, rebound by A.C. Green. Here comes Kobe Bryant.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what type of shots Alonzo wants to take against Shaq, whether he posts him or whether he turns around and try to faces him to get Shaq to move his feet.
Shaq again over Alonzo. Rebound by Mashburn. Here comes Miami as both teams keep going back and forth. 3 feet inside for Strickland.
That's great basketball. They need those kind of baskets against this great Laker defense. They've got to find a way to get some easy hoops, and Strickland is the guy that can get him that with the energy, his running ability, and his jumping ability.
Lakers have hit 2 of their first 4. A.C. Green, who has not been playing all that well. Robert Horry has. You'll see more and more with the Laker turnover right there, and here comes Hardaway. Lakers on defense, and defense has been great for Los Angeles this year. With the shot no good by Strickland, here comes A.C. Green.
Well, it was a quick shot. Pat Riley indicated that he wanted to use as much of the clock as he could to make the Lakers play defense and to make certain that he got a good shot.
Mashburn on Rice. With Harper feeding to Shaq. He and Kobe have been working well together of late. Kobe flies inside and can't get it to go.
Great drive by Kobe, but he's got to finish that basket. Alonzo did a good job of avoiding the foul.
Mashburn launching a 3. And that's what they need.
Well, that's extremely important because he's got to hit those shots. Shaq blocks up the middle real well. And Alonzo, in order to get open, to get the kind of freedom to be mobile, he has to have his outside people hitting.
Miami Miami by 3. Shaq wheeling in the lane, hooking it up. Rebound by Dan Marley. Flips it over to Hardaway. Kobe in his way. And open is Marley. He made his name in the league with three-point shooting, but not with shots like this. Your former teammate just threw up an air ball.
Wide right, Danny.
We got to shut the doors right now. There's a breeze in this building. Mashburn right here is coming down the court, and Strickland just running the court, beating Shaq up the court, beating AC up the court. They need those easy opportunities.
Here's Rice, the former Miami Heat player, silky smooth inside for 2.
Well, and I think Rice is a key to a lot of things with this team because he waits and waits. Everybody relaxes, and then he busts loose and starts to get some shots. So they've got to be conscious of him an awful lot on this team because of his scoring capability.
Here's Alonzo Mourning over Shaq from outside. Last year's MVP runner-up can't hit it. Kobe comes the other way.
Well, Danny mentioned today, Alonzo shot that shot with nobody on him. It's a lot of pressure when the guy doesn't really play you, so you got to hit that shot.
Well, they're baiting him to shoot it, and I think he should try to drive.
How about Glenn Rice from outside?
Well, Glenn had 23 points in the first meeting of these two teams, and he's had some of the best scoring games in Miami history. We know Glenn can score, and Mashburn's giving him a little bit too much room out there right now.
And he says he's not going to complain about not getting a shot. He says, it's up to me now to make more shots. I'm going to put it on my shoulders.
Yeah, he's got to do the little things. He's got to find ways to contribute in other ways. In some games, he's going to get a lot of shots. In some games, he's not with Kobe and Shaq out there. But, you know, he's a guy that they're going to need that third threat and keep that floor spaced on the perimeter.
Clock malfunction. The 6th sellout in 19 games this year. Played at brand new American Airlines Arena. Open up right around the 1st of the year. And they began here. The Heat did 2-3. Since that time, they've reeled off a franchise record 13 consecutive home wins. And tonight they take on the best team in the NBA. And this right there by Mashburn. It's Harper leading Kobe with Rice on the side. Miami back on D. And Kobe fans with Marley securing the ball for the Heat.
Going to be interesting to see. The last 2 possessions that Miami got the ball, they took outside shots. Alonzo stood out even when he shot it. Maybe that's too much respect. Even with that, when it goes in, it's a good shot. But I'd like to see him really challenge Shaq a little bit more inside if they want to win this game.
Again, no P.J. Brown tonight for the Miami Heat. Injured and in street clothes on the bench. We've had 3 lead changes and 3 ties. 2 first-place teams jousting in Miami. It's the Heat and Lakers tied at 9.
This is drawing attention. Alonzo's got his head turned, boxing out Shaq, and there goes Kobe wide open in for the dunk.
You know, the good thing about this game so far is Alonzo Mourning doesn't have any fouls. We talked about he hadn't scored, but we don't want him to get in foul trouble. That's a huge thing.
Hardaway drives inside. Tim Hardaway says he's playing with more enthusiasm, more vigor, and he's at the very top of his game right now after missing about 17 games earlier in the year.
Oh, he is so important. They need big numbers out of Tim Hardaway if they're going to have any success come playoff time or any success in tonight's game.
Mashburn gets the steal, the drive. Kobe is there, 3-on-1. And a foul called as Bryant tried to clog the break. He did a pretty good job.
Well, and even though the foul was called, Kevin, you want to score that. You had 3 guys on 1. You had 3 Heat players down there and 1 player from the Lakers. You want them to capitalize on that, particularly without Shaq being in the middle. You want to make this basket.
Well, and Marley gets called for the foul over the back, but you're right, Coach. He's got to make that lay-in.
You capitalize on the big fella not being in the lane.
Heat shooting 41%, Lakers 50%. And a whistle away from the ball and a foul called. And they assess this one on Alonzo Mourning, and there's the first of the game on Zoe.
You think maybe I put a hex on him or something? I just got finished saying that the man didn't have any fouls, and now you pick up a senseless foul like that.
Robert Horry checks in. Green goes to the bench, and
this is so hard to guard him, though, because you don't know coming across the lane. He's got to be able to body him a little bit. That's not a foul. If you can't do that, you can't guard Shaq. It's impossible to guard Shaq if you can't bump him coming across the lane.
Here he comes again across the lane, bulldozing for 2.
And now Alonzo's got to be on the defensive. He's got 1 foul, and you know, I don't see how you can guard Shaq, Coach, if you can't bump him coming across the lane.
Well, big people have nervous systems too, don't they? You can't bump him.
Shaq has 4, and there's Shaq drawing a foul as he tried to reach in, lunging at the driving Alonzo Mourning.
And that's what Alonzo needs to do. That's what we're talking about. He can't just settle for the jump shot. He needs to attack the basket right here. But Shaq now, with Alonzo in foul trouble, is just aggressive going in there. Alonzo's just trying for self-defense and just stay out of his way.
Alonzo Mourning turned 30 years of age last month. Had a troublesome right shoulder, as we talked about. Don't you think, guys, that maybe some of the pressure has been taken off this great player with the emergence of Tim Hardaway shooting now, and even Mashburn being involved in there in the offense?
Well, I think definitely, because Tim now has some games under his belt. When we saw him before, he was new, coming back, more tentative. When Tim is out here, Mashburn is out here, it takes a lot of pressure off of Alonzo.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Shaq. He has Glenn Rice and Kobe to take a lot of pressure off him. Alonzo really hasn't had that. He's had to carry such a burden. Alonzo Mourning plays as hard as any big man has ever played, with as much intensity and passion and toughness as any big man that's ever played basketball, but he needs some help scoring.
Shaq feeding to Kobe. Whoa. And those two have been a wonderful combination of late.
Oh, Kobe, that was unbelievable right there.
Very unbelievable. And particularly because Shaq was open on the weak side, Alonzo came to Kobe to try to help out.
The Lakers, who have hit 5 of their last 6 shots, leading by 2. Harper's on Hardaway. And a shove away from the ball. Illegal defense they blow on the Los Angeles Lakers.
And look at Marley's face. He's scared to death out there. He doesn't know what Kobe's going to do. But right here, he tricks Alonzo. Beautiful ball fake. That's a great move right there.
That was one of those Danny Ainge shots.
Yeah, I didn't have that kind of hang time.
A little bit of Michael Jordan in that play. Hardaway to Mashburn. And over to Strickland, starting for the injured P.J. Brown. Shot clock at 2 for Mashburn. Missing the 3. Rebound and hailed by Shaq. And here comes Harper.
You know, watching the Lakers, Danny, they don't really get a lot of fast breaks, but because of this big fella, you don't really need him, because they can walk down the court and still get a high percentage shot with him in the lane.
That's right. Most of us want a coach to get the ball up the court as fast so we can have as many easy opportunities. But when you got Shaq, you get enough easy opportunities. But, you know, Miami can't double team, or Miami doesn't want to double team because they got beat so bad in game 1. And so now they're trying to play him head up. And with Alonzo with 1 foul, they should keep going to Shaq.
4 rebounds, and inside it's O'Neal. Missing once, but not a second time, and he's got 8 points in the first quarter.
You can just see he knows he's got Alonzo on the defensive. Alonzo cannot pick up another foul.
A 6-0 run by the Los Angeles Lakers. They're shooting 60%, and Shaquille O'Neal, maybe the closest thing this league has seen since Bill Russell, with some moves inside and maneuvering on Alonzo Mourning. He's averaged over the last 6 games 41 points. Danny says he's a sure bet MVP. He's sure playing like one tonight.
In the East, Charlotte, number 6 in the East, playing at Charlotte tonight, and Derek Coleman will not play anymore because of this. A flagrant 2 as he knocks Tony Kukoc down, apparently caught him up high around the right eye. Take another look as he winds up, and there you go. Kukoc goes down. He has returned with stitches. You see the score, 46-39. Back to Kevin Harlan.
Thank you, Ernie. Philadelphia's won 2 consecutive games coming in there, and Charlotte has lost 2 in a row going into that game.
We need a little action like that. We were talking about that this morning, weren't we, guys? Yeah, we need some action like that. We need some fisticuffs and some fighting going on in this league.
Loosen some things up. The Williams sisters are here. Serena and Venus. I'm on TV. Can you see me? Calling her friends. Kevin Harlan, Danny Ainge, John Thompson, Craig Sager from the American Airlines Arena in Miami. Alonzo Mourning has been outscored by Shaq 8-2 so far, and that one tipped away. Shot clock at 12. Big first quarter clock at 3:58.
Well, I agree with Danny. Alonzo is relying a little bit too much on facing Shaq and taking the jumper. I think he should still take the ball to him, even though Shaq is such a defensive presence inside. You change your game a little bit too much for a guy like Shaq, and you throw yourself off.
Here's Mourning. And that one will trickle in. Miami has now hit 3 of their last 10. Los Angeles has hit 7 of their last 9 shots.
Well, and that shot is important for him to hit, but again, I still would like to see him still take some of his hooks and still penetrate a little bit more. If Shaq comes, then penetrate and pitch it to somebody on the other side of the basket.
Strickland picks up his first foul as we take a look at Phil Jackson, who flirted a little bit last spring with the New York Knicks in formal talk, but the job he really wanted was with the Lakers. And I don't know if it's just the change of pace or a new mindset with his team, Danny, but they are certainly playing outstanding basketball.
Well, it really starts with their defense. I think their defense has improved more than any team in the history, and right now that's where they're getting it all. But Shaq, too. Shaq is the guy that's really made the difference.
Moves his 350 pounds across the lane. Picked up by Tim Hardaway. And the Dream Team on the Olympic team missing a three. Rebound by Kobe Bryant. They'll switch inside, float, and miss the shot. Rebound is brought down by Alonzo Mourning. Hardaway again. Weaving through traffic. Oh, what a shot by Hardaway.
Well, both Kobe and Hardaway did the same thing. Kobe penetrated off of Shaq's back because he knew there wouldn't be a lot of help. That time, Alonzo ran in the middle and posted, and Hardaway came off of his back and utilized the fact that the help was there on him.
Robert Horry's been hitting the threes in the month of March. Offensive rebound by Harper. With the whistle as Bruce Bowen is checked in, along with Clarence Weatherspoon for the Miami Heat. And a foul called on Spoon.
Well, you can see right here what Coach is talking about. There's Alonzo, and here comes Hardaway right in behind him for the easy lay-in. Alonzo setting that moving screen like that, what do you call it, the rolling guard?
You call it like a snow plow in the north. Just clear a path.
Pat Riley with division champions in 15 of the 17 years he's been a head coach. His fifth year now at the Miami Heat. O'Neal back to Rice. Trying to spoon feed Kobe. Bowen just about had the steal. Kobe inside with another spectacular play.
Well, Kobe is so special in there. Again, there's so much of an opening in there around the basket because of Shaq's presence. We keep harping on that, but it's so real. But right now they got Spoon guarding Shaq, trying to take some pressure off of him.
Harper the foul for the Lakers.
You know, Danny, in looking at this shows Kobe's maturity. Before, he would have stood out and taken a lot of deep jump shots when we saw him early in the year. But now he's utilizing the fact of how Shaq is being played and coming right off of him and penetrating, and he's so great at finishing that he's doing a tremendous job of getting that done.
Jamal Mashburn, who played at Kentucky, was drafted by Dallas across the lane. He's free, and he fires. Weatherspoon inside. Lost it. Alonzo on the floor. And he calls a timeout. What a heady play by Alonzo Mourning, playing with the broken nose, a bum shoulder, and a lot of pressure tonight against the best player in the league in Shaquille O'Neal. We showed you before the game that Shaq in the same draft was drafted just ahead of Alonzo, and Alonzo hasn't forgotten that.
Well, and looking at this, you need Mashburn to become more Kobe-ish with Alonzo. He's got to look to penetrate. He's got to look to be more aggressive and capitalize on the fact of how he's being played. Because if he does that, then that opens it up for Hardaway, and that also opens it up for Alonzo. That's great hustle by Alonzo and getting on the floor and going after the loose ball.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you, how many of all the big guys you've seen play in the NBA, the only other one I can think that matches Alonzo's intensity might be Dave Cowens?
Well, and it's very similar to Dave, because Dave would dive all over the floor and go after loose balls, and I think that that's what Alonzo does. And I wasn't joking when I was talking to him. He was looking at me so mean, I got afraid. I walked away from him. Usually I could intimidate him, but his intensity level before a game is unbelievable.
Well, this is somewhat of a measuring stick for both these teams. Lakers played in New York yesterday in Miami. They've had these two dates, these two games circled on their calendar for a long time. And Miami, best position they've been in all season long. The fake by Mourning, the drive, and the flip. And it's off to Weatherspoon, who over Horry gets it to go.
Well, I think that was a great pass. That's what I was saying. And Danny indicated earlier that if Alonzo penetrates and joins Shaq and throws it to somebody else, they'll be in an easy position to shoot without Shaq's help meddling in.
Horry the screen for Kobe Bryant, who feigns on the three. Rebound by Mashburn.
Miami's got to try to keep pushing it up. Try to get it right there. Alonzo, they had two opportunities to get the ball to Alonzo. Very deep on Shaq.
We got the sense from Pat Riley. He wanted his team in constant motion tonight. His Mourning pops and nails the jump shot.
Well, you know, Alonzo got an easy basket. Now he's made a couple from the perimeter, but you want to keep putting the pressure on Shaq. Shaq is such a key to them, and if they can get a second foul on him, then he goes to the bench.
Miami's an 8-2 run. Rice launching a long three-point shot over the backboard, not out of bounds. In the midst of our sixth tie, now at 21.
Well, and I think that, you know, the point of what Danny is saying is you want to keep Shaq's feet moving. You want to keep him active. You want to give him more opportunities to foul someone. You want to tire him a little bit. You don't want him just to sit in the lane and be able to help on everybody and be able to do nothing.
Double teamed Alonzo. He somehow squeezes the pass to Weatherspoon, who's been playing great. Rebound by O'Neal. And up to Ron Harper. He's been a great point guard for this team as a starter at 6'4.5", 6'5". He's got the kind of size that Riley likes, rather that Jackson likes in his guards, big size.
Yeah, he's even talked about giving him some rest, getting him ready for the playoffs with that old crinkly body that he's trying. Those legs aren't moving like they used to move.
Hardaway the other way, met by Kobe Bryant. Final seconds ticking off. Los Angeles now has gone one of their last 8. He trying to take the lead. No shot clock. What you see is what remains in the first quarter. Hardaway spoon feeds Mashburn.
Great pass by Hardaway.
Bryant the catch to beat the buzzer. Can't rebound Mourning, and that'll end the first quarter. The Lakers staggered toward the end of the first quarter shooting. You can see that O'Neal, Bryant, and Rice did the job, but the rest of the team contributing very little. And at the end of one, the best team in the NBA, the Lakers, trail first place Miami 23-21.
3-21 lead. This is Craig Sager back at American Airlines Arena. And we have been hearing reports about a slight hamstring injury to Shaquille O'Neal. Now, he had been wearing a corset or girdle, and it got to the point where he was actually lacing it tighter each game by trainer Gary Vitti. And he thought it was feeling pretty good until they lost in Washington with a 19-game winning streak. Suddenly, the girdle or corset was gone, and Shaq has started a new winning streak, and he said tonight that it no longer bothers him. Now, I don't know if he's trying to deflect it, but he says only when he bends over, like tying his shoes or reaching for a loose ball. But other than that, he said it doesn't bother him, and playing back-to-back doesn't bother him either. So the superstition is gone, and so is the girdle. Kevin?
Well, he doesn't have his wallet on, see, that's what makes him bend over. The wallet kind of keeps him straight when he's in his street clothes.
Well, the guy picked me up and spun me around like a helicopter and shoot around today. He didn't seem like he was too hurt.
You can see better defense in this second meeting in the first quarter by Miami than in the first meeting earlier this month in Los Angeles, when the Lakers were just all over the Heat. And we begin the second quarter with Alonzo and Bruce Bowen from outside. He can hit that three-point shot, but defense on the perimeter in particular is what he's known for. Derek Fisher is in now for the Los Angeles Lakers. Rick Fox is in. He has been struggling. Fisher, Ori, and there's a feed inside for Shaq. Rejected by Alonzo, counted for 2 on the goaltend.
Well, one thing that Miami's doing different, the difference between the 37 and the 21 first quarter points is they were double teaming Shaq regularly last game, and everybody was getting involved in the flow of the offense. Right now, the big three has got 19 points, but no one else is getting any touches.
Well, and I like the fact that Spoon was guarding that time. Alonzo was a second option defensively to come after Shaq had committed to blocking, because Shaq's so strong and powerful that the first option is not going to stop him.
Mashburn with the hit. He's got 11 points. And Kobe Bryant in the game over Bowen. Rebound by Shaq, muscling up a shot. Tapped by Alonzo and picked up by Anthony Carter. The free agent rookie from Hawaii. Alonzo! What a pass by Carter.
Well, that's where they could beat him. They could beat Shaq up and down the court. We talk about movement, but there's no better time to beat Shaq with their quickness than in the open court.
And then Robert Horry galloping the other way.
Well, you know, that's the thing about this Laker team. They have so many answers when they find themselves. And look who the point guard is right now.
O'Neal leads a 3-on-2. Derek Fisher pulling up. Shaq and Zoe go at it, and it's tapped and won by Miami and Bruce Bowen. O'Neal's got 10 points. Mourning's got 8.
I tell you, you can tell by the level of intensity here that this game, Danny, is about respect. These two teams are trying to get respect today.
No question about it.
And Rick Fox picks up the Los Angeles Laker foul just off the bench. That's number 1.
Well, right here you see Alonzo. He's just out running. Shaq is lazy getting down the court. Robert and Rick Fox aren't doing anything to help. Alonzo gets the easy basket.
And Alonzo from 20 gets the inbound again, uncovered on the play.
Well, interestingly enough, he threw that leg up. Pat Riley was telling us today that when Alonzo's taking those bad shots outside, he kicks his leg up in there. That was a good one because it went in. Coach don't mind the leg going up if it goes in.
So he's hit his last 4 shots. He's got 10. Shaq has 10. Inside Ori on the pass from O'Neal. Another Laker turnover, and here comes Anthony Carter streaking the other way. Mashburn to Mourning, and Shaq's on him. Fox may double. Across the lane goes Alonzo, and a foul called on Shaquille O'Neal.
That's a great drive by Alonzo. We've been talking about it. He's got both parts of his game going now. He's got a couple easy baskets. The rim's gotten bigger. All of a sudden, he knocks a couple jumpers out there. Shaq is a little bit tired, whether he'll admit it or not. Alonzo drove right by him that time.
Shaq has 2 fouls. Timeout.
I'm serious. Whenever guys...
Year in terms of assists. The best he's ever had in the NBA.
Yeah, he's just continually getting better, and since February, his numbers have even gone up the second half of this year, and really maturing as a player and really taking great pride in these passes.
And you can see the numbers right there and what he's done since February 1st. And now he's got to go John against Bruce Bowen, who is brought to Miami for defense.
Well, and he's a defensive specialist. I mean, this is the junkyard dog. This is the guy who makes his living off of stopping people like Kobe. But that's not an easy task.
Perimeter defense in particular. You know, they've always had a player like Bowen here. It's Terry Porter kind of had that role in the last couple of years. Last year with the Miami Heat. He's now with San Antonio. But Bowen gives them a lot of energy. As you see Bryant, and there's Bowen, who is off the waiver wire and picked up by Miami.
Well, Bowen gives them a little bit of what they got from Keith Askins, a defensive player that's a little better shooter. He's already made some big shots for this Miami team in his short time here. And he's a player that everywhere he's been, the coaches have loved because of his energy, his toughness, and his defense.
Shaq is on the bench with 2 fouls, and in right now, John Sally. And no backup for Shaq as Jackson concerned. Outside, the shot will drive. And Alonzo Mourning is 5 of 5 from the field after starting 0 of 4.
Well, Alonzo feels it, you know, but I still would love to see him go to the basket a lot more now that Shaq is out of the game. Sometimes it's to the benefit of the other coach if you start taking those shots and making them when your best player defensively is sitting on the bench.
We just talked about Bruce Bowen working on Kobe Bryant, and Bowen picks up his first foul of the game right there.
Well, he's one guy on the team that has the size and can contest Kobe's shot and also can move his feet and contain him for the most part. And now that's a tough task, as Coach Thompson said.
You know, Danny, isn't it amazing the amount of contact they allow on the perimeter as Bowen was guarding Kobe that time, as opposed to the little silly fouls that they call it in the post when you're trying to deny Shaq from cutting to the ball.
Fox to John Sally and back to Rick Fox, struggling with his game. Shot clock at 6, knocked away. Kobe retrieves it. Shot clock at 3, dancing over 2 defenders. Can't get it, and the rebound is hauled in by Alonzo Mourning.
You know, that's the kind of thing a Bowen will make you do, that when a guy like that defensively plays a good offensive player, that offensive player tries to show that he can score on him sometimes.
Alonzo Mourning is hacked inside. Robert Horry and John Sally were there. And a foul.
Look at Bowen. He's just doing everything he can to keep Kobe from touching the ball.
No contact, is it?
No, he's grabbing shirts and holding and scratching. But that's good. You know, he's a good defensive player, good experience. It's a lot easier to guard him without the ball than it is with the ball most of the time.
A lot easier to guard him if you're going to hold him. You better hold somebody like Kobe.
Sally picks up his first foul. Kobe, by the way, 3 of 11 as we see Alonzo Mourning at the free throw line. And they'll bring in Rodney Buford, a rookie from Creighton, second-round pick. The all-time leading scorer for the Blue Jays, as Weatherspoon will check back in the game. In a tough, emotional year so far for Alonzo Mourning. Lost 2 of his friends to car accidents. Kansas City Chiefs linebacker Derek Thomas and Charlotte Hornets player Bobby Phillips.
This guy Buford has a ton of ability. He's long, he's athletic, he can shoot, he can handle the ball a little bit. He just hasn't had a lot of experience.
Well, and it's interesting. You have in there now, you have Buford in there, you have Carter in there, who is very athletic, and you also have Bowen. So now they really are picking up full court and challenging the Laker guards and extending their pressure defense on them.
The only thing they don't have now, they take Alonzo out, and they got Witherspoon playing center now. So both teams are going very small, and because they took Alonzo out, now they can take John Sally out, and the Lakers can do the same thing with Robert Horry at center, and I think that plays into the Lakers' hands.
Alonzo leading with 13 points and 4 rebounds. You saw the scoring, and who's doing it for the Los Angeles Lakers. Bryant accelerates inside and lost it. Bowen the rebound. Here comes Carter. And he'll slash, feeding in the paint where no one stands except the hands of Kobe Bryant. He'll take it the other way. Fisher, touch pass, looking for Fox, out of bounds. Another turnover. The Lakers have 5 in the first half for Coach Phil Jackson.
Just when I was getting ready to say it was in the Lakers' hands, they don't have any shot blockers in there. Kobe goes in, and Witherspoon does a great job of weak side help and getting that shot block.
I didn't know he had that kind of athleticism to get up and block shots like that.
But you notice Kobe's gone to the basket every time in this game and hasn't had one blocked when Shaq was on the court with it.
Carter feeds Witherspoon inside. Anthony Carter's been a find. He played in the CBA a season ago. And when Hardaway was out, Carter was shining at the point. Rice is back in with the corkscrew jump shot.
Boy, with both of their post people out of the game, Alonzo on the bench and Shaq on the bench, the tempo of this game is really even escalated. They're getting up and down the court and really trying to put them up quicker.
They have 10 guys on the floor that have been small forwards or smaller in the most of the minutes in their career.
Out of bounds, the ball goes. Shot clock at 5. Second quarter clock at 7:26. Lakers are shooting 41%. Miami 53%. And a Miami timeout. Miami 5 of 6 shooting in this quarter alone. Big night in Miami, and for the NBA and the Heat leading the Lakers 34-27.
Nervous if I were Doc Rivers and George Karl sitting up there ahead of him.
It's going to be a great race going down. Los Angeles has scored just 6 points in the last 5 minutes, but they get a Miami turnover right there. Miami has turned it over 4 times as Glenn Rice, Horry, Fisher, Brian Shaw in for the first time, the ex-Miami Heat player, and Rick Fox in there for the Lakers. And a whistle and a shove and a foul. And that'll go on Bowen. He's got 3 quick fouls right now. Lakers coming in tonight having won 21 of their last 22 games. And they have the best record in the NBA at 55-12. Bruce Bowen is out with his 3rd personal foul. The Miami Heat, as Dan Marley checks back in with the bad ankle, the Miami Heat have won 13 consecutive home games.
That kills him. But I didn't see the foul again. The guy's cutting across the lane, and Bowen just had his back turned to him, and there was some contact.
Here's Rice over Buford. Rebound by Carter. And Miami runs again. Marley on the other side. Buford down low, picked up by Fox.
Well, you should see a lot more posting up and a lot more penetration with both Shaq and Alonzo being out of the game, both of them being great shot blockers.
Pretty play and a drive inside by Rodney Buford.
Beautiful finger roll. George Gervin would be proud of that finger roll right there.
But I tell you what, that finger roll only works if Shaq is not in the paint.
No Shaq, no Kobe in right now. Horry spins for 2. He could be a factor down the stretch for the Lakers.
Well, he's a big factor, and particularly now when you take Shaq out, now he's got to understand that his role has changed, and he becomes more of an offensive influence to initiate offensive moves now.
Miami by 7.
And that's what I was saying earlier when they took out Alonzo Mourning. That plays into the Lakers' hands that they can play small.
That's a 2-point shot by Buford. And
who is that guy, Danny?
Well, we had him in for a workout before the draft. He was making them all. He's a pretty good player.
All-time leading scorer in the history of Creighton basketball. 9 points has been Miami's biggest lead. Miami is 7 of 8 in this quarter. As Carter feeds Witherspoon. Outstanding passing as Fox wearily gets up, holding on to his elbow.
Well, again, it's amazing how much they're going inside without both of the big shot blockers for both teams being in the lane. These guys feel like they've been liberated. And so now they're penetrating to the basket.
Miami is shooting 58%. As Rick Fox goes down hard. He's not acting there, although he wants to be an actor. That one hurt. Miami red hot.
The wind howled through the...
Well, here we see Robert Horry. Robert's having flashbacks to when he was in high school and college and got to play center in there. Shaq out of the game. Here he is, gets a chance to show his great post-up abilities.
Well, and this gives an example of liberation. He even comes in and shoots a finger roll because Shaq Danny is not in the post. He feels so good that he goes back to a George Gervin finger roll.
Shaq is back in with a couple fouls, though. Tagged on him right now. Lakers have been outscored by 5 in the last 4 minutes with O'Neal on the bench. Fox will leave, so it's Bryant, Horry, Rice, Brian Shaw, who's been a nice pickup. When Kobe was injured early on, they got Shaw. Now Shaw's their 4th guard. And, of course, Shaq at the presence in the middle. Rice switching inside, cut on the feed from Horry, and a foul called on Alonzo Mourning in the lane. That's the 2nd tagged on zone.
Well, and that's the advantage of the Lakers offense. I mean, they hit the post, Shaq dumps it out, or guys make cuts or penetrate off of Shaq. When you penetrate, you force Alonzo to come over to help, and that leaves Shaq open, or as was the case that time, Alonzo will end up picking up the foul if he doesn't block it.
And I've always thought that's the best thing the Lakers need to do with Shaq. They need to use Shaq more as a decoy, more as a screener. And that time, the last couple times they've shuffle cut off, that time they use Shaq as a screener, and Rice gets the easy opportunity underneath.
Rice has spent 4 years with the Miami Heat, taking the first free throws tonight for Los Angeles, which is hard for me to believe.
Well, it's very hard to believe, but one of the reasons why Shaq has not taken a lot of free throws is once they've thrown it in, he's passed and used other options, as Danny has said. Once they get the ball into him, and I think it's significant that they do, because Alonzo is going well offensively, and you've got to occupy him a little bit more.
Hardaway and Shaw. Shot clock down to 5. Hardaway to zone. And Horry reaching in. And a foul called on the ex-Rocket and son, Robert Horry. And he picks up his first with his 3 points tonight. That will send Alonzo to the free throw line for the Miami Heat.
Robert is such a key to the Lakers' success. When they put him at that power forward, they can step him out, have a three-pointer. You saw he played a little bit on the post and against the triangle, but he's such a versatile player. He adds, if he plays well, this team could be very, very special.
So here's Alonzo at the free throw line, who, by the way, tried out for the 1988 Olympic team and was cut by their coach, Danny. You know who the coach was in '88?
Yeah, I remember who the coach was. I played against this team in Charlotte, and that kid was pretty impressive at 18.
You cut your own guy.
Humility. Humility.
Hey, coach knew what he was doing. He needed him to get ready for his freshman year in college.
Exactly right.
Needed him to stay in school.
42-33 Miami. This equals Miami's biggest lead. Shaq inside, drives it up, and sends it inside on Alonzo.
Well, and I like that with Shaq because he's been not looking to score. And I think as well as Alonzo has been going offensively, to try to decoy that a little bit, you've got to make him think a little bit more about defensively and also try to get him to pick up more fouls. So that was a great move on Shaq's part.
Screen by Mourning. Hardaway feeds to Mashburn. Shot clock down to 7. Upswing Mashburn rejected by Horry in that long reach. Mourning's inside. Whacked around. Ball knocked out of bounds. 3 seconds to shoot. So powerful is O'Neal.
Watch all the defenders right here. Alonzo's got 2 fouls, can't do anything. There's 3 guys in there, but they're just kind of trying to avoid the contact. Stay away. The guy's an animal.
Do you blame him?
It's like trying to lasso a horse with a string.
Yeah, that's right. Good analogy from outside. Rebound by Rice. Shaq, Kobe, Rice, Horry, and Shaw, the Laker 5. Hardaway, Strickland, Buford back in with Zoe and Marley out there for Miami.
Lakers have so much versatility that they can post up other people other than Shaq.
Shot clock at 5. Shaw flips it over to Rice for 3. Nice rebound by Buford, who's given them quality minutes off the bench.
Well, I'm impressed with his athleticism, too. He jumps well, he shoots the shot outside, and he's got good quickness.
But he's a rookie, and here comes Strickland driving inside across the lane, and a foul called on Brian Shaw.
You see, Kevin, that's what Danny was talking about, and he's absolutely correct. By going towards the basket, you force Shaq to react, you force other players to react, but sometimes because of a defender like Shaq, teams have a tendency to respect him too much and stand on the perimeter and rifle up shots, but it doesn't cause problems for the defense.
Pat Riley gave us 3 keys today for his Miami team against Los Angeles. The #1 key, we can't let them out-rebound us, and sure enough, Miami +3 in that category.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, they got to make sure that they don't get frustrated and discouraged when Shaq gets those easy baskets. He's going to get some, but stay in it. You know, stay close, don't get discouraged, because those are only 2 points.
That will frustrate you, and he will get easy baskets if he gets it in his hand.
Lakers led early by 6, now trailing by 9. Kobe Bryant with the jump shot. Kobe has put in a 4 of 13 display with 8 points, 3 rebounds.
I think Miami's playing about as good a basketball as they can play. They're getting contributions out of a lot of guys. Alonzo's making his shots. Right now, the only guy that could be stepping it up a little bit more is Timmy.
Great player. Pick and roll that time. The Danny's absolutely correct. They're mixing up what they're doing. Alonzo's posting. He's stepping out, and that time he used the pick and roll.
A huge elbow thrown by O'Neal. And with the broken nose and no protection, Alonzo takes it right in the face, and Shaq has 3 fouls.
Great play by Alonzo right there. You know, he got a little cheap foul trying to defend him. He knows he doesn't want to pick up the 3rd foul, so he just stays away, tries to draw the foul on Shaq. That's the best way to stay on the court.
But I tell you, the only positive thing, if I was Alonzo, Shaq looks like he's angry. And I don't mind him being angry if he's heading toward the bench. But if he's out on the floor, I don't want the big fella to be too angry.
Well, he's got about 20 minutes to cool down now.
Sally is in. This is one of the problems, as we mentioned before, with the Lakers, that Jackson has no one he really trusts as a backup. And Shaw picks up another foul on the perimeter, and that's the 2nd one he's been tagged with in less than a minute as you take a look at Phil Jackson.
I like this play by Timmy Hardaway, though. Brian Shaw's trying to keep him left, not let him go left. Well, Tim wants to go right off that screen, and he just forces it and draws the contact, knows that they're in the penalty.
Well, you know, the thing, I was talking to Tim a little bit. He was out 26 games. He came back slowly. He feels that now he's getting more strength. He's getting more confidence in his game, and I think that that's extremely important. I think he was a little bit concerned because I was saying he was a step slower, but I was saying it as it relates to his coming back and returning for being out 26 games.
Hey, but let me just say, he is a step slower. He's still pretty good.
But he's a heck of a lot smarter.
Yes, and he's strong. And
exactly right.
And he's confident, and of course, when he thinks like that, his body just reacts, and he can do so much for this team.
I played against him when he was a step quicker, and he was unguardable, and he's not that, but he's a better shooter, stronger body, and a lot smarter.
Well, the thing that's so important is this team needs his leadership out there to keep things under control, and they still have the respect of his ability, and that helps Alonzo when they're trying to double and triple team him.
The rookie Buford picks up a 2nd foul.
That's why Pat Riley doesn't like to play rookies. You know, they got away with one. Buford rotated to Brian Shaw and left Rice open earlier, and he got away with it when Rice missed the open 3. And right there was a lack of communication between the rookie and Dan Marley. Dan's trying to communicate to him now that those rookies make those defensive mistakes.
Well, the thing that happens, as you know, is that rookies don't manage success well. Failure is not the problem. That once you hit a couple of baskets, you tend to go out of the context of the defense. You tend to go out of the context of the offense, and that's probably what Dan was trying to tell him. Settle down a little bit. You're playing well. Just let it come to you.
The one thing Miami is doing tonight is they're trusting their game.
Yes, they are, and they're trusting each other. They know they need a lot of contributions out of a lot of guys, and they're getting it. They're getting contributions out of Buford, out of Mashburn, out of Alonzo, out of Timmy, and out of a couple of the guys on the bench, particularly Weatherspoon.
Now they've got Shaq on the bench with 3 fouls, so that plays into their hand as Timmy can't get it. But Mourning does with a 2-handed slam. And Alonzo Mourning with 19 points.
Well, and Timmy caused that with his penetration by pulling the defense to him. He penetrated and put it up. Didn't look like he mattered how he put it up. That might have even been a pass, and Alonzo followed it up and put it in.
John Sally thought he could get that blocked shot from the weak side, and I think he's thinking, talk about losing a step, I think he's lost 3 steps.
Shaw tries to penetrate, knocked away, 8 seconds to shoot. Miami enjoying their biggest lead right now. 55% shooting from the field for Miami. Alonzo Mourning has hit the last 7 shots on Jackson's Lakers. Rice has 13 for Los Angeles. And Shaq has 12.
Well, that's the versatility Danny was talking about, because now Ori is going to play the post.
And Rice again.
Ori's going to play the post because they took John Sally out of the ball game. So Ori plays the perimeter, he plays inside, he plays power forward, he plays all the positions.
Come on out, Kobe. Kobe, you out.
Hardaway for 3.
That is so big. They need Timmy Hardaway. That's a Timmy Hardaway roll coming off that high pick and roll and just knocking down the 3-pointers.
2 threes by the Miami Heat tonight. 1 by the Los Angeles Lakers. Marley picking up a foul. Dan is not 100%, Pat Riley told us today, physically, but still, he has a presence on this team.
Well, you're talking about a guy who wills himself to play. When you talk about Dan Marley, you're talking about a guy that just will give you everything that he has. He's just so hard-nosed and so determined. And even so, he goes over and checks on a guy like Buford. That kind of thing, you can't imagine what it means to a coach.
One of the favorite guys I ever played with in my career, Dan Marley. Guy made more big shots in my 3 years in Phoenix when we had a lot of success there. Defensive stopper, great shooter, clutch player.
And a lot of heart.
As much as there is in anybody in this game.
1:23 to play. We're in the late stages of the first half. Kevin Harlan, John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager. Hardaway again, wheeling inside, shadowed by Kobe. Shot clock has wound its way down to 8. Precision offense tonight by Miami. And a foul called on Kobe Bryant.
Well, and you look at Timmy that time, Alonzo Mourning, Kobe, all the youngsters doing the crossover. Timmy is telling them out there, I invented this, young man, and I'm going to show you I still can do this.
Bryant's got 2 fouls.
Kobe's shaking his head coming down, but he forgot Timmy was the one he learned to move from.
Yeah, but, you know, like we said, about 5 years ago, he would have lost Kobe.
It would have been a shadow there.
Kobe still can't figure out what he did. I'm not sure I can figure out what he did to foul him. He just ran into his chest.
But see, that's why I told you that Timmy is much smarter now. He knows how to set a guy up for something like that now.
Reel them in. Coming up in the AT&T halftime report, Ernie Johnson and Kenny the Jet will bring you all of tonight's action. Plus, don't forget about the TBS NBA $1 Million Monday. So Shaq is on the bench with 3 fouls. The best record in the league belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers, winning 21 of their last 22. Winning yesterday handily in New York against the Knicks, but facing a tough opponent tonight in Miami. The Heat in first place. In the Atlantic, Kobe Bryant with the miss, and he has struggled from the field, 4 of 14.
Yeah, but I like his judgment now. I mean, he'll make those shots. He mixed that up with movement without the ball. He's taking people off the dribbles. He's making passes. I like the way he's managing his game now.
Great penetration. Tim Hardaway taking over the second quarter.
What did you say?
Well, you know, they're forcing him baseline, and there was no weak side help. You know, Shaq is usually there to help contest shots, but Timmy was being pushed to the baseline, and Kobe was expecting some help, and there was nobody there.
Here's Rice over Marley. Rebound tap by Dan, out of bounds. And 14 seconds left.
You can see what I mean right here. Timmy's being pushed baseline right there, and the help is just late. You see help coming from the top, but there's no help coming from the baseline side.
And he's got 2 bad wheels, and he's there accelerating and detonating like that.
What the thing he's doing now is using a lot of his strength, particularly against Kobe, as well as his experience.
Missing a shot at the buzzer as he tried to take Bryant. And Miami shoots 75% in that quarter. Well, Pat Riley said it was a statement game, and they're making a big statement right now as we send it over to Craig Sager.
Well, so you have a 13-point lead. You have 19. New England advantage will battle with Shaq. With 3 fouls, does that change how you approach it in the second half that he has?
No, we just got to keep doing the same things we've been doing. We've been moving the ball, executing. hitting the offensive boards, and we've been very unselfish. You know, I think the key to this game is possessions. We got to take care of the basketball, not turn it over, and rebound the basketball. We've been doing a fairly good job of that. If we're consistent with that, we'll be in a good position to win the game.
You think you made a statement in that first half, left no pressure?
Trying to make any statements right now. We're just trying to do what we can do to win this ball game. There's no statements being made, man. The statements are made in the playoffs, man, and not during the regular season.
All right, thanks for your statements with us here at halftime, though. Thanks. Go back to Kevin.
And that's where Miami has struggled. Mourning at 13 in the second quarter. Miami leads by 13 at halftime.
Arguably one of the best players on the team the last month.
Hardaway with a spectacular feed inside.
Well, I tell you, that wasn't the greatest defensive start for the Lakers to come right out and they get a dunk like that.
So Shaq has 3 fouls out there at Harper, Kobe, Green, Rice, and O'Neal now at the top. And there's a foul called on Mashburn, who gave a little shove to Rice. Mashburn out there with Alonzo, Hardaway, and Strickland and Dan Marley.
Miami knows that they do not have this game won. They know that they played good in the first half. They got to stay focused. You know, only 4 turnovers by Miami in the first half. That's a sign of a team that's playing with great concentration.
Well, and you look at how the Lakers entered the floor, their body language was still very confident. They were smiling, and they were very loose, so they definitely realize this game is not over.
Harper sets a screen for Kobe Bryant, who tonight is only 5 of 15, but plucks in his 10th point of the night. He's taking a lot of shots.
They want to try to keep Kobe from driving to the middle of the floor and keep him to the baseline where they can get some help. And that time he was able to get over the top of the screen for the easy shot.
With 3 fouls, why not go right at Shaq? But then O'Neal swats the Mourning shot away. Shaq the other way, skipping down the lane. I saw no twinge in his right hamstring there.
Well, and that girdle must have been very loose that you were talking about that was holding him in. Because he certainly didn't move quickly and got down and laid it up.
And that's one of the first times I've seen Alonzo Mourning not hustle tonight. He got the shot block. He did not make an effort to get back and contend with Shaq.
Hardaway double. Harper gets the steal. Rice at the other end. Kobe and Rice the other way, and Rice took it in himself with a foul.
Well, that's a very bad sign because both of those transition defense on the part of the Heat was terrible. They got back very slowly. You're looking here now, the Lakers go up and trap, get the ball away from Hardaway, get out, get down on the break. And both times the Miami Heat got back slowly. They can't start this half off going slow.
Well, and it was all started by turnovers. We said they only gave up 2 points in the first half off of their 4 turnovers. They come and get a shot block by Shaq and then a steal by Ron Harper.
Rice has shot 7 free throws tonight. The rest of the Lakers have not shot 1 from the stripe. He's got his 17 points. A free agent after this season. They tried to shop him around before the break. They found no takers. He wants a lot of dough. Lakers will keep him the rest of the way.
I think they need Glenn Rice. I think that's a blessing. Sometimes the best trades are the ones you don't make because they need his shooting bad.
Alonzo Mourning inside. Another rejection by Shaquille O'Neal with the jump ball called inside. Shaq was limited, John, to just 17 minutes in the first half, and he averages about 40 a game.
Well, and that's good. The best defense is to get him on the bench. But what you're looking at now, the Lakers are trapping Alonzo, which is a sign of respect. And he's turning around right in the face of Shaq rather than shooting his hooks on the side or making Shaq move his feet. And he's not going to get away with that because Shaq is too big, particularly when help comes.
So here comes Ron Harper. He knows that triangle offense as well as anyone because he played in it for 3 championships with Jackson in Chicago. Rice bullets a pass to Kobe Bryant. Shaq inside, took the rebound away from Mourning and stuffs it in for 2.
Well, you know, Shaq doesn't seem too intimidated by those 3 fouls. He's got 2 great defensive stops and a big offensive rebound right there where he used his will and his power to kind of give Alonzo a little nudge under the basket.
Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Shaq, remember at halftime, said he didn't want to even talk about the 3 fouls. That was because he wanted to be aggressive. But I do have one correction. He has fouled out twice this year. He fouled out on March 1st against Vancouver and on December 16th against Atlanta. But he didn't want to think about the fouls and want to come out here playing very aggressive, and obviously he has.
Well, and particularly in a game like this is what you have to do because now you're watching Dan Marley. He's coming around. Kobe makes a beautiful curl off of Shaq's body, trying to capitalize on the fact of how many people guard Shaq. You know, he misses it, but it's a beautiful little curl that they use to capitalize on how Shaq is being doubled. I think Shaq, Danny, has to be more aggressive to occupy Alonzo on defense, so Alonzo won't be as aggressive on offense.
Dan Marley on top, playing with the bad ankle. In fact, he's played injured a lot of this season. Before the injury, though, he was spectacular across the lane. He gashes the defense outside. Strickland can't get it to go, and out of bounds, and over the backboard it goes.
Well, the Lakers defense, after that first possession, it kind of woke them up a little bit. They've done a good job in the half court.
Phil Jackson's team on an 8-0 run. Shaq already with 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks in this third quarter. Harper finds O'Neal. Will they double him? They tried to in Los Angeles with no effect. That time just a single coverage, and Shaq now has scored 6 here in the third.
Well, and particularly when he turns baseline side like that and shoots the jump shot, the double doesn't do any good, because if he turns in the middle, they can give him help, but not with what he did.
Miami has missed 3 in a row. Another rejection by O'Neal. 3 all on Mourning. And Alonzo comes back and tries to take a shot, which won't go. Green the rebound. Here comes Harper.
Coach, I've seen this happen a lot of times. You try to go at a person to get the 4th foul, and it really backfires. You take your players out of their normal game. And the Lakers got all the momentum, and Alonzo's confidence is down a little bit right now.
Because the focus, as you indicated, is on getting the foul as opposed to taking the appropriate shot to make Shaq occupied a little bit more.
8.5 to play here in the third. Hardaway chiseling inside. Out for Mourning, trying to drag Shaq with him. Missing again. 5 missed shots in a row by Miami. Rice for 3 at the other end. Rebound by Marley. Flips it off to Hardaway. He's got Mashburn underneath. Hardaway by himself to the hole. Marley tried to get him. Mashburn throws it inside. Triple team. Lakers with great defense.
Well, and the Miami Heat has to capitalize on that, because Shaq never crossed half court, and they had an opportunity to get an easy basket that time.
Kobe feeding Shaq, knocked away. Bryant ends up with it and can't get it from 15 feet away.
Right now, the Lakers' athleticism is taking its toll. The size against Timmy Hardaway right there, and even Dan Marley going for the rebound.
Contorting his body for 2 is Mark Strickland.
I'll tell you what, Shaq really, Danny, looks tired to me, because the last time he didn't cross half court, and that time he didn't even challenge the shot.
And I think that's why Phil Jackson called the timeout right there, to give him some rest.
Timeout. Inside.
Well, you want to go at him, but you can't turn with your body into him and put the ball up first. Alonzo is more probing for a foul as opposed to doing what he did earlier, than leaving the space or putting his body between Shaq and the basket. That time he's just putting the ball in front of him, probing, as Danny indicated, to try to get the foul. You can't do that. You've got to still play your game and forget about the fact that Shaq has 3 fouls on him.
Alonzo has started this third quarter 0 of 3. Shaq has been red hot. Miami had missed 8 consecutive shots until Strickland hit moments ago. Approaching 7.5 to play here in the third. Lakers were down by a ton, 13 at halftime. Harper inside, knocked away by Strickland, who draws the foul for Miami.
And that's exactly what Miami talked about in the shoot-around today. You cannot leave the cutters. That's where they got hurt in the first quarter. Right here, he cuts down the lane. Tim Hardaway turns his back to Ron Harper. You can't give up the cuts. You got to go with the cutter, and then you can give help if it allows you.
One of the most dangerous attributes for a postman is that if he is being doubled, to be able to find the open person, that prevents people from trying to double and triple you. And Shaq has learned that. I mean, his skill level is amazing to me. As I've always said, that his size overshadows his ability. He can do so many things in the game.
Dayton, Ohio's Ron Harper. You know, there's some thought that maybe he will go on the injured list here and get a little rest, Danny. Rest those knees before the playoffs begin.
Well, I think that would be helpful for him, but he hasn't been playing a lot of minutes. And that's maybe Phil Jackson's better alternative, is just cut down his minutes.
Strickland picked up his second foul, and Hardaway will work in on the 6'5" Ron Harper. Off to Mourning, into Shaq, triple team, another block by O'Neal. He's recorded 4 on Mourning in this quarter alone. Kobe Bryant to the other end.
Well, and even though Shaq made a great play in blocking that shot, I like that a lot better because Alonzo had his body between him and the ball. Shaq just makes a great defensive play, which shows, again, his ability.
He's playing tennis.
And he's doing this with 3 fouls, which I think is impressive. Shaq has had a reputation of not being real aggressive on defense. This year he's getting over 3 block shots a game. But right now in this big game, a game after fatigue from last night playing against Patrick Ewing, this is very impressive defensive performance in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you're right. What a 1-2 punch. Ewing yesterday and Mourning tonight. Mashburn. 15-2 run by the Lakers. Another miss by Mourning, who is 0-4 from the field in this quarter.
Well, they're going exclusively to Alonzo right now. They need to give Mashburn and Tim Hardaway some shots.
Rice with the deceptive move to get free, but can't get it. O'Neal using his body. Unbelievable pass, Shaq to Kobe Bryant.
And that again, the pass, the shot was spectacular within itself, but the pass again, I mean, it's just a good pass also.
Great touch for a big man right there. That's beautiful.
What is that for a big man stuff, man? You hear this, Kevin?
I got it.
Come on, the guy shoots 60% from the line.
And passes well.
That'll take your breath away.
3rd quarter.
O'Neal with the spinner over Alonzo Mourning, and the Lakers have retaken the lead. They led early by 6. They lead now by 2. And you have to go back to the 1st quarter when they led 21-19 to find a Laker lead in this game. Tim Hardaway. At the other end, Harper slides in for 2, working around Mashburn. Count it, the foul called on Mashburn. And things unraveling for the Miami Heat and coach Pat Riley.
Well, and they have to regain their swagger. They came out with a lot of confidence. Shaq blocked a lot of shots in the middle, took the confidence away from the team. And now I believe in body language and the psychology of the game. I think the Heat now have to definitely get themselves regrouped and feel good about themselves.
And Riley has seen Mashburn pick up 4 fouls, Danny, all in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a couple of them, but you know what? The team that's the instigators gets the call. Right now, Miami's on their heels, and the Lakers are playing with so much energy and instigating all the contact and the physical play.
Which they weren't doing in the 1st half.
Well, and they're strictly going to Alonzo. He hits that shot. But I think somebody else on the Heat's team right now, because of the defensive job Shaq is doing in the middle, has to answer to give Alonzo some assistance to really at least occupy Shaq and the other Laker players.
Alonzo had missed 7 consecutive shots in this quarter until that hit right there. Jumping in the lane is Shaq. Rebound by Alonzo Mourning. It's a 3-point Los Angeles Laker lead. They come in tonight with the best record in the NBA. Mourning the screen. Mashburn flips it out to Marley. Hardaway to Weatherspoon in the game, and he knocks it in, crossing the lane.
Oh, and that's what I'm talking about. We need somebody else. Shaq is on his game defensively and doing a good job in containing Alonzo right now. But somebody else, Hardaway's got to step up now. Mashburn's got to step up. Marley's got to step up. We've got to get a variety, the same way the Lakers will do.
Rice popping it into Harper. Oh, with a nice spinning shot by Ron Harper, 14 years out of Miami of Ohio.
It's amazing, though. You know, he gets the fast break lay-in, and he probably wouldn't have even attempted that shot had Hardaway not given him off the turnover the lay-in before.
7 for Harper in this 3rd, 9 for the game. Marley for 3. And Shaq chases down the loose ball. Lakers on top by 3. Kobe to Harper. He's having a dynamite 3rd quarter. That one won't go. Ricochets off the iron over the backboard and out of bounds. Ron Harper played with Jackson and Jordan and Pippen and Rodman in Chicago, so he gave this team a head start in learning the so-called triangle when he came. Brought in by Tex Winter on the right and Phil Jackson on the left. Rice and Bowen go shoving into each other. Rice has his first of the game.
Rice has done a good job fighting over the screens. He's putting forth a concerted effort tonight to play defense. and get caught up in this great Laker defense.
Plus, Johnny's getting to the free throw line.
Well, he's getting to the line, and he's also counteracting anything that was done early to Shaq. You know, he picked up the slack until Shaq got going again, and that's what's got to happen. Somebody else on the Heat's team, because Alonzo isn't going as well right now, has to definitely pick some things up offensively. Mashburn may be the answer to that.
We'll see here as he shoots over Rice and knocks it in.
Well, Mashburn scored their last 14 points in the game against Cleveland the other night.
And a traveling violation called on Harper.
That's one thing where I think that Lakers are a little bit vulnerable is against pressure, and teams don't do it until they get desperate against them. But, you know, Ron Harper is not a great ball handler against quick little guards, and now they got Bowen at the 2 guard. They can apply some pressure in the full court.
The turnover story about the same, and both teams shooting the same from the field, now 48%. With a little nice feed from Tim Hardaway.
Boy, there's a great play. Tim had penetrated, pulled Shaq that time, which gave Alonzo some space to be able to get a shot off without having to shoot it through or over Shaq.
I think that's the biggest weakness of the Laker defense has always been the high pick and roll with Shaq involved in the pick and roll.
8-2 run by Miami. Kobe Bryant. Bryant has gone 8 of 20, 17 points. O'Neal's got 20. Rice has 18. Just 13 points from everybody else. Hardaway had a good second quarter. Mashburn backing down Rice, 10 to shoot. Mourning knocked it away from Shaq and out of bounds. It's off of Miami.
This is the high pick and roll I'm talking about. Here comes Alonzo setting a good screen. Shaq just kind of goes to guard the basket. Shouldn't have left the ground. No weak side help. Alonzo fills the gap. And that's where Shaq, he tries to play the shot blocker and the goaltender. And there's a lot of open shots for his man around that area in the high pick and roll.
O'Neal hooks it off the glass and down. Shaq with the scintillating move. He's got 22.
Well, the thing he's doing now that he didn't do earlier is that he's looking for his own shot as opposed to look for cutters and passes. And when he does that, he absorbs so much attention that it gets other players open on the Lakers team.
You know, Coach, a year ago, he couldn't make that shot on that post-up, that side of the floor. He was always a left block post-up player. Now, this year, he's worked on that off-the-glass shot, and that's made his game so much better, being able to score from both blocks.
Well, and he's very capable of doing so many things. That's the thing that I respect about him, is that people look at his weight and look at his size, but his ability is just unbelievable.
That's a goaltend on Alonzo Mourning. Shaq has 24.
But look at Shaq's face right there. I mean, he's just going, give me the ball, give me the ball. He's smiling, his eyes are lighting up.
And he's having fun.
And when he has fun, it's bad news for the opponent.
He has 12 already this third quarter. Down by 13 at halftime. The Lakers lead at 72-67. Inside the great penetrating move.
Well, that was great. The last time Hardaway drove, Shaq committed early. That time Shaq didn't commit early, and Hardaway, being the veteran that he is, realizing rather than pass to Alonzo, he went in to make the layup.
But everybody in the league knows, again, use Shaq's man to set screens on the pick and rolls because he won't go out to defend them.
There's a Laker foul. And that's on Glenn Rice, and he's got 2. As Bryant was wheeling around. Rice picks up his second. Mashburn will check out. Anthony Carter will come in for Hardaway, joining Weatherspoon, Bowen, Mourning, and Buford comes back in the game, the rookie from Creighton.
The amazing thing is Shaq has played this whole quarter. Alonzo's been very aggressive offensively, and Shaq has done a good job of stopping him and not picking up any fouls.
Alonzo has struggled shooting in this third quarter after outstanding shooting in the second. A nice knockaway there and some Miami defense.
Well, Alonzo did a smart thing.
But he stepped out of bounds.
He pushed Shaq, released him, and Shaq's body momentum went back, and then Alonzo came around and made the defensive play.
Shaquille O'Neal has 24 points and 8 rebounds. Alonzo Mourning has 23 points and 9 rebounds. 2 of the best in the NBA. Are battling inside in a huge game, a riveting contest with a 72-69 Los Angeles Laker lead over the Miami Heat as Pat Riley, the ex-Laker coach, talks to his Miami players. In that Western Conference, we've talked so much about Los Angeles and Portland, but quietly, sneakily, the Utah Jazz have won 9 of 10, and they're right there again at 44-21.
These guys are amazing. We talk about the great dynamic duo of Kobe and Shaq, and they're probably the best in the league right now, but these guys still at the ages 36 and 37 years old to still be in the top few dynamic duos in the league is absolutely a miracle. These guys have all the respect of everybody in the league, and they're still doing it.
And you were talking about the pick and roll. If you want to see every option usable off of a pick and roll, you see these two guys do it.
And you can throw Hornacek in there, too. That guy's playing on one leg, and they're still winning basketball games, and I'm amazed.
In his last season, he'll retire after this year. Rice for 3 with the Hornacek-type shot.
Well, Rice has really been a big load for him offensively. He's working really hard on the defensive end. I think that he's been mad that Rick Fox has been stealing some of his minutes, and he's starting to play some defense to keep those minutes.
Bruce Bowen, the ex-Celtics, 76ers, and for a short time with the Chicago Bulls, and a foul called. And they go on Derek Fisher, picks up his first. Los Angeles, with their coach Phil Jackson, 65% shooting in this second quarter, 13 of 20. As John Sally will check back in, a much-deserved rest for Shaq, playing with 3 fouls, but an incredible third quarter display.
But really incredible, and one of the things they're doing is probably protecting him there and taking him out of here because it's only 25 seconds to go in the ball game, and he's played so well that you don't want him to pick up a cheap foul with 3 now.
Rookie Buford with the miss over the backboard, not out of bounds. Shaq leaves with 12 points.
Now they got to get Sally out because they only got 1 possession. He knew it. As soon as he heard the horn, he started running to the bench.
And Rick Fox will come in, and Devin George, a good-looking rookie out of Augsburg, a Division III school, which has their campus 1 block away in downtown Minneapolis from the University of Minnesota.
Why didn't Minnesota draft this guy then?
They tried to get him, but he didn't have the grades. Coming out of high school, he was skinny and small, and he grew like that. Grew up in a horrible section of Minneapolis, and was a surprise first-round pick. In fact, the only Division III player in the history of the NBA drafted in the first round. Devin George of the Lakers.
But in the meantime, they put him in the game so that the starters can get rest.
Yes. Rice hounded by Buford. 1 second left. And Fisher trying to get a handle on it, stepping out of bounds. And Miami will have 1 second with which to work.
Great defense by Buford right there. Wouldn't give, Rice wanted to get space for the long jump shot. He wouldn't give him an inch.
Strickland gets it off to Carter. What a comeback by the Los Angeles Lakers. Down by 13 at halftime, Shaq took off. Playing with 3 fouls, had 12 points, 4 blocks, an incredible display by the MVP of the NBA. And at the end of 3, the best team in the league, the Los Angeles Lakers, lead first place Miami 75-69. And knifing his way for 2.
Well, that wasn't just a question of quickness. That was a question of strength, because as he got into traffic, he still was able to muscle his way through and lay that up.
19 points for Bryant.
But did you see Shaq's man still hugging Shaq, trying to keep him off the glass so Kobe could lay that in?
Weatherspoon to Buford at the top of the backboard. It'll go back to the Lakers.
Right here, Kobe's going to the basket. He's weaving his way into the basket. But watch Shaq's man. He's not giving very much help. He's still trying to fight him. Weatherspoon's got 2 arms on Shaq and can't give any help.
And some pressure in backcourt by Carter on Fisher. Fox to Shaquille O'Neal. Slammed in, uncovered, untouched was Robert Horry.
Well, and that's a perfect example of what Danny was just talking about. That Shaq requires so much attention that the other guys go to help and don't box out. And a guy like Horry goes in and follows up, just the same as Kobe getting that layup.
And inside Strickland, the CBA player, can't get it to go. And Kobe weaving his way through traffic. Alonzo Mourning will set the check in. And a foul called on Rick Fox as Mourning will re-enter the game for Miami. And the second is tagged on Fox.
I think he just threw Fox out of the game. I think he threw Fox out.
Much to the surprise of Rick Fox.
See, right now we need to have the ref's mic to figure out what's going on.
Or get the commissioner mic, one or the other. Right?
Yeah, let's put a boom down from the ceiling over Commissioner Stern.
Rick Fox, married to an actress, Vanessa Williams, will leave ejected with 2 successive technical fouls. It was quick. Whatever was said, it was very quick and very sudden.
See, that's a perfect example of when we need those mics. We want to know what was said.
That's what Phil Jackson's trying to find out.
Philly better watch out or he's going to go out of here.
Well, it's not the time to be getting 3 technicals right now, but I don't know what Rick Fox said. I mean, they've been getting the calls. They're playing great. They got all the momentum, and that's where you got to put the team ahead of yourself. You can't get a technical when everything's going your way, and you get 1 bad call.
Well, they kept jawing at him. That was Derek Richardson.
Well, since he's not Mike now, I'm going to see if I can read his lips.
Okay, good. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I don't think we can repeat it on here what he's saying, though, Dan.
No, I don't necessarily want that, Mike. I got 6 kids at home. But what I would like, Mike, is just a discussion between the official and Shaq there. Why did they throw him out of the game? It didn't look like, I don't care what he said. He said it quick and was walking away.
1 free throw made. He missed the second. And the Lakers by 9. Alonzo Mourning working on Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Buford. Outside for Clarence Weatherspoon. Driving with a nice fake by Roy. Rebound grabbed by Shaq. Lost it. Picked it up again. And all kinds of congestion inside with the foul assessed to Bruce Bowen, who picks up number 4.
Well, right here, the Miami offense, this has been their Achilles heel all year, is scoring against good defense, and we're seeing it here in the second half. They're out of sync. Alonzo's getting the ball, and there's really not a lot of movement. That's why Alonzo's been shooting so many shots.
Bryant feeds O'Neal. Rebound by Alonzo Mourning, who has collected 10 with his 23 points. Spin at the other end, and Ori came climbing on his back.
Well, and that's one of the things that they really have to do. We talk about the Laker defense, but it all starts with Shaquille. You can play good aggressive defense if he's in the back, but if you look at this, what the Heat are trying to do is to get down there before this big fella that you see trailing it gets in there. You got to get down fast and get uncontested, defensively contested baskets by Shaq.
You know, Miami did a great job of that early in the year. You know, everybody was talking about Miami scoring. They were scoring so many points. They were running. They were fast breaking. And the second half of the season, they've not been doing that near as much.
Clarence Weatherspoon, born and raised in Mississippi, one of 10 kids. Miami field goals this half, 7 of 27. You saw Mashburn on the bench. He's got 4 fouls. They're trying to preserve him with 2 minutes gone here in the 4th quarter. Fisher guarded by Carter. Hands to Kobe. The switch on defense, and Carter's on Kobe Bryant for 2. Rebound Mourning, lost it out of bounds. And it's off Los Angeles. And a timeout taken. The Lakers have led by as many as 10. The Heat by as many as 15. A special guest will join us when we come back with Los Angeles leading 79-72. Back in the mid-60s, it was common. And we're going to talk with the guy who played back then. Let's join Craig Sager.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal is the leading scorer in the league, but it was his defense that turned the game around in the 3rd quarter. I now turn to the master of defensive big men. How would you compare? What are your thoughts on the big battle tonight between Shaq and Zoe?
Well, it's very interesting. Shaq's obviously having a very good game. He's blocking quite a few shots. But Zoe is maintaining his cool, which is important, and trying to do things that he can do. And what he has to do to be effective is make Shaq have to move horizontally.
There's a comment Coach Thompson made in the 2nd quarter that we kind of overlooked. Shaq went to the bench with 3 fouls. He goes, that could be bad for Miami because I may have made the big man angry. That ever happened between you and Coach Thompson when he tried to guard you in practice?
Hey, you know, he used to wear me out, you know.
Until you got angry.
Hey, one thing I noticed about all those centers, None of them had good backups.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. I was just adding it up. 12 and 12 is 24. 24 and 24 is 48. He averaged 44 minutes a game. No wonder I became a coach.
That laugh was priceless.
He had bad hands, though. He got 11 championship rings and only 10 fingers.
Buford inside, caught by Alonzo Mourning, working on Shaq. Across the lane, and a shove, and a foul.
Hey, Coach.
And it's called on Rice.
You've coached a lot of big men. What did you learn most from Bill Russell?
Well, I think his intellectual approach to the game, I think, is the thing that was so amazing about him. Not only did he have the physical ability, but he matched it with his intelligence and how he approached the game. And that was the thing that I thought was very special about him.
Mourning. He brought Shaq out.
Well, he's mixed it up, and he seems to relax a little bit. I think Danny hit the nail on the head. He came out in the second half and tried to get the fouls as opposed to sticking to his original game plan of setting the screen, pulling out, shooting. Gives Shaq a lot of options to think about.
Shaq has scored 24, so 25. They double Shaq, which they did in Los Angeles earlier this year. There's a foul on Bruce Bowen. And that is number 5. He's got one more to go with 9:03 to play, and he's a very good defender for Pat Riley.
He is, and that's going to hurt him. He's the guy, I think, that matches up with Kobe the best. Plus, he's got the energy and the athleticism to match him if they need to go into some full-court pressure.
Well, and Danny, not only did he double, but he defended Shaq's pass when he doubled. A lot of guys double, but they don't defend the pass. And that's what Shaq will hurt you with if you go to double. He'll find the open guys. He did right there.
And he flips it into Horry, who is whacked as he took it down the lane. Brian Shaw is in the game for the Lakers. And the Los Angeles Lakers, who have won 21 of 22. And the end of a 6-game Eastern road swing with the NBA's best record at 55-12, trailed at halftime by 13. But an incredible surge in the third quarter, led by the 12 points of Shaquille O'Neal, brought them on top, and they lead at 81-74 over Miami. And Miami coming in has won 13, the franchise record, 13 consecutive home games. They lead the New York Knicks in the Atlantic Division by 2 games coming into tonight.
And the Lakers have 25 fewer free throw attempts than they had in the first meeting between these two teams. But right now, Miami, they're double teaming Shaq. The one thing they can't give up is open threes to Glenn Rice and cuts down the lane. They've got to take those 2 things away.
Well, and what makes those things so dangerous is Shaq's passing ability. That's another thing that he does so well, that if you do cut, he'll hit you, and if you double, he'll find the open guy.
Buford the miss. O'Neal corrals his 10th rebound.
You know, the interesting thing about this game is the fact that Alonzo is playing one hell of a game, and that shows you how dominating Shaq is.
And how good the Lakers are.
Oh, very much so.
Fisher. Shaq leaning on the 6'7" Weatherspoon. Good leaping rebound by Buford. Here comes Miami. Crucial possession with 8 minutes approaching in our fourth quarter.
And you see the double team by Miami made Shaq shoot the ball quick because he knows he's got to get it off before the double team gets there.
Bowen is down to the 3 tonight, missing right there, playing with 5 fouls, but a fresh 24 for Miami. Driving is Carter, shuffling it off to Spoon. Watched it as he went up, and a foul called on Los Angeles inside. Trying to pound it inside.
You can see right here that when they go to Shaq into the post, he gets double team quick. He throws it right back out, and when the ball comes back in, he's going to quick shoot it before the double team can get down there again, where he's going to have to pass it out again. I don't think Shaq has the confidence in the Brian Shaw and Derek Fisher to make those threes, and they have not shot a good percentage on the year, and that's what could make a difference come playoff time.
Well, and the other interesting thing is when Spoon is guarding him, Danny, you made reference to the fact that the difference is in height. It looks more like a free throw when Spoon is guarding him, and Shaq has a little difficulty at times with free throws because he turns around. There's nothing between him and the basket, but because of his size differential between he and Spoon.
That's why I think they need to start on one side, swing it to the other side, and get Shaq moving across the lane and try to post him up right there in the middle where his eyes are huge, and it's tough to double team.
By the way, Shaq is not taking a free throw tonight. Rice to Shaw, the entry player, flipping it to Fisher for 2. Inside, ball corralled by Alonzo Mourning. He's got 11 rebounds. It's Mashburn, and a foul called on the Lakers outside. A shove, and it goes on Horry, who is hit for the 4th time with a foul tonight. Tim Hardaway getting ready to check off the Miami bench.
Well, and that's what Danny was talking about in relation to the pace of the game. Earlier in the year, the Heat were indeed pushing the ball a lot faster. And by pushing it faster now, you create situations where the opponent has to foul. You create situations where you get down and Shaquille is not there. So it behooves them, particularly on their own home court, to try to create a faster pace of the game now.
Hardaway is in with Mashburn, Mourning, Weatherspoon, and Bowen. And a foul on Miami. Away from the ball, it's on Weatherspoon, who is hit with his second.
I don't understand that call. I mean, the guy's trying to post up strong, how you teach him, and the defensive players fighting around it. I mean, there's more contact in the post in high school and college right now than there is in the NBA. It's not the officials' fault.
Well, particularly a game of this significance and the intensity, some of those calls are common sense calls. You can't just go by the rule book. The rule book even states that you use common sense is the main thing.
Rice with the charge and the foul.
You see right here, they're just playing in the post. Robert is just doing, he's not holding anything. He's just trying to move around. Weatherspoon's just trying to hold him off with his elbow, just like you're taught. I don't see a foul right there. That could be called a foul every time down the court. And if that's what the league wants with these new rules, then that's why the players are getting so frustrated and Rick Fox is getting kicked out of the game.
And a timeout. Coming up next on TBS NBA Monday, Penny Hardaway, Jason Kidd, and the explosive Phoenix Suns near the top 4 in the Western Conference playoff race take on the Boston Celtics. Both teams have won 3 consecutive games. Jason Kidd, another spectacular season as the leading assist man in the NBA. And a 27-6 record at home for Phoenix. Coming up next, Celtics and Suns on TBS.
We see the Laker board right there, and you see that word right there. Execute, execute. Doesn't matter all this stuff up in here, you know, just execute the play.
Execute means get the ball to Shaq.
You're going to make it real simple, aren't you, Jeff? Take it to its simplest form.
And space the floor because they know they're double teaming right now. Miami's in their 55 defense, which they're trying to double team on Shaq.
But you know who it's been for the Lakers? It's been Harper and Ore. They've combined for 12 points in this half for Los Angeles, leading 82-75. Hardaway to Mourning, who's only 3 of 11 shooting in the second half. Dancing on O'Neal. Outside, Hardaway for 3. Rebound by Brian Shaw.
Well, and that was a good pass by Alonzo because he drew help from the Laker defense and he pitched it out.
Six and a half to play. Bowen knocked it away and comes up with a steal.
Great defense by Bowen. He did a great defensive job of contesting Rice's 3 the last time down the court.
Mashburn for 3, another miss. And the shooting percentage of Miami continues to dwindle. Look at the hustle by Kobe Bryant.
It was a great hustle. I mean, it's really a great hustle. Both he and Alonzo were going after it. He dove and went for it. But
you're used to seeing guards do that, but I'm not used to seeing 7-footers do that.
I don't want to hear that stuff. What 7-footers has he seen? I mean, these guys are diving all over the floor. Alonzo better dive, I tell you that.
I haven't seen Dikembe be diving on the floor yet.
Are you serious? Because I blocked his shot.
Miami just 1 of 8 shooting in this quarter. Alonzo Mourning.
I think he has a comfort level. You can tell that's where he made most of his points in the first half. He's got to mix up his drives, but he feels very confident he'd get that shot on Shaq anytime.
Shaq double teams, spreads him aside, goes up and is fouled.
Oh, I thought Shaq got away with one right there. He jumped in the air and threw off with his off arm. I think that was an offensive foul right here. Watch Shaq's off arm right here on Alonzo. This Bogarts his way in there. I think that's an offensive foul.
Well, and what you want is consistency, too, particularly when you call those little touch fouls before on the perimeter people. You've got to react to that at that point.
Free throws by Shaquille O'Neal. A couple weeks ago, he was pulled out late in the game because Phil Jackson thought it was a liability to get fouled. From that point on, Shaquille has been over 60% shooting from the free throw line, the best of his career. Tips winner has done a huge job in rebuilding his shot. And with those right there, the Lakers on top by 7.
Oh, his technique is so much better. It's still a little bit flat, but his arm is closer to 90 degrees than it was, and the ball's off his fingertips, or on his fingertips.
Mashburn slithering in for 2.
Well, and that's one of the things that has to happen. Mashburn has to interject his personality into the game a lot more because of his skill level. He can't be a silent partner with this team in order for this team to be successful.
O'Neal took it away. It's loose and out of bounds, and Miami gets it.
Well, when you're looking at this screen and roll, you know, Mashburn is really throwing a nice play, and he goes to the basket with some strength, you know, which is good because he mixes up his outside shot then now with some penetration because Alonzo then occupied Shaq.
Hardaway fouled by Brian Shaw. Then fires it inside to the double team to Alonzo Mourning, and he's fouled inside. It looked like Kobe Bryant. It was Bryant. He picks up his second.
Now we'll see Alonzo. Alonzo hasn't had great success shooting free throws. We'll see if he can make these 2 big ones. These are huge. But why is Alonzo, coach, not guarding Shaq now? Alonzo only has 2 fouls. There's 4:45. I mean, Shaq is just getting such an advantage down low right now, not only on the post-ups, but on the offensive rebound opportunity.
Well, you know, one of the things that, you know, a coach does sometimes, as you know, is to let your best shot blocker be the second option. Let Shaq use up his fakes, use up his moves, and then have to come to Alonzo as opposed to him using those things up on Alonzo. But I agree with you, Shaq is so powerful that he gets so close to the basket that sometimes the second option is not effective.
Right, and I also know that they want to double team Shaq, and so they have the smaller player on trying to keep him from dunking, but he's hurting him on the offensive boards.
Alonzo Mourning, 71% from the free throw line. Knocks down 2 beauties right there. He's 7 of 8 tonight. And now he brings Miami 50% on this right there. Mourning has the rebound. He has claimed 12. Miami out there with Bowen, Weatherspoon, Mourning, Mashburn, and Hardaway. Miami shooting 44%. Behind the back, Mashburn to Mourning. Lakers all around that rebound.
Well, if there was space, that's not the shot you really want to take, particularly with the foul situation, as well as Alonzo can shoot. You want to go to Shaq down and just see whether he'll defend or let the guy shoot.
Maneuvering, stopping on a dime, and that threw Bowen right off his mark.
Big shot by Kobe. Great patience. He hit the one the first time. Last time he came down and missed. A lot of young players would quit shooting the ball in that situation. Kobe comes right back again for a second time. Knocks down a dagger.
Kobe's got 23. The Lakers lead by 6.
Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up is the Boston Celtics, who are right back in that race for the final playoff spot in the East, take on Penny Hardaway and Jason Kidd and the Phoenix Suns, the teams that Danny Ainge began and ended his career with, going head-to-head on TBS. Back to Ken.
All right, thank you very much. Rex Chapman. Emergency appendectomy and Gugliotta out. They have operated on both. Chapman's about 2 weeks away, they say. Gugliotta done for the year. You think he's off the Olympic team as well, Danny?
I think so. I think he's out for at least a year based on the things I've heard about his knee injury. But that's devastating to that team. That team is playing so good. They really felt like they had a chance for a championship this year. You know, they have good depth at that forward position, and it's not going to hurt them every single night. But Googs is such a warrior, such a competitor, and a great player that I think in the playoffs, it's going to really hurt their depth.
All right, Miami with 1:18 to play, trailing 95-89. Alonzo Mourning, Weatherspoon, Mashburn, Tim Hardaway, and Bruce Bowen. O'Neal has 5 fouls for the Lakers. Out there at Bryant, Horry, Rice, and Harper. They'll make it Shaw. And they get it to Hardaway. Inside to Weatherspoon. Double team. The hook won't go. The rebound is inhaled by Shaquille O'Neal. And he's got 12 rebounds to his credit tonight. Kobe Bryant, who had big shots late in the game yesterday against the Knicks after being cold most of the game, has hit a big shot here moments ago. Shaq spinning inside and fouled by Alonzo.
Shaq knew he was going to get fouled right there. He knew the strategy, but he shot the ball quick and hopes to get the three-point play.
Zoe's got 4.
Very quick release.
He's trying to prevent the hack of Shaq, but it didn't work.
Coming into tonight, Miami was the 5th best three-point shooting team in the NBA, but Danny, they're just 2 of 13, and they need threes in the worst way now.
Yeah, they need threes throughout the game. Whenever you're playing against the Lakers, you need to make some perimeter shots. But
and a miss with the rebound by Mourning. Under a minute to go. Mashburn, Hardaway, Mash. Thinking about 3. Rice is there. Down low it goes. Weatherspoon into O'Neal and rejected by Orr.
Mashburn just double dribbled on the perimeter. He got the ball, dribbled it, and then dribbled it again.
And a foul call. Mashburn guarding Rice. The Lakers are zeroing in on their NBA best 56th win.
You see Shaq right here. He's holding his knee right now. That's because he doesn't want to practice tomorrow. He said, hey, I beat New York. I beat Miami. 2 incredible victories. That just shows you the dominance of this Laker team right now. And the rest of the league is looking up.
Well, and you look at those 2 young men, Kobe and Shaquille O'Neal, standing in front of this table here. And I tell you, that's a lot of basketball right there. I love the way Kobe is picking his spots now. It's also a lot of money, too.
Let's go over to Craig Sager.
They have tomorrow off if they win this game. Phil Jackson is keeping them here in Miami. They can go to South Beach. They can do whatever they want. And they're going to fly out of here tomorrow on a charter. So there's an incentive. And right now, the Lakers are winning 98-89. Just 35 seconds left.
Phoenix Suns, 4th best in the West. The Boston Celtics fighting for a playoff spot. I'm standing by along with Mike Fratello. We've got all the action down here in the desert. Now back to you.
All right, Kev, thank you very much. Kevin Arlen, John Thompson, Danny Ainge joining us tonight. You can come there and be with us anytime you want.
Hey, this has been fun. What a great game. Phoenix is going to have a good game on the Knicks game, too. They need to win that game to maintain home court advantage over the San Antonio Spurs.
Danny has to stop picking on those big fellas, though. You ever notice that? Good touch for a big guy.
Craig, what do you have?
Well, we were talking a little bit about South Beach. You know, when the sun goes down in Miami, the stars come out. The only thing missing, we have the Heat, the Lakers in Miami, is Dennis Rodman. And the Worm a week ago was near tears because he got released by Dallas. Today, he was much more cheerful. He had a party at his house in Newport. He says he's going to play 2 more years in Europe. Kevin.
Wow. Thank you, Greg.
That's where he belongs.
Mashburn for 3. Rebound by Rice. It looks like the 13-game franchise record home winning streak for the Miami Heat and their coach, Pat Riley, will come to a close. What kind of relationship, Danny, have you ever been able to pick up between Riley and Jackson, arguably 2 of the most successful coaches in the history of the game?
You know, I've just what you read in the newspapers, but, you know, they respect each other. Both of them have had so much success, and they've had some great battles and rivalry, especially when they were with Chicago and New York. And, you know, there's mutual respect, but I think they want to beat each other worse than anybody.
I would say so. And those are competitive relationships. It's extremely difficult to translate that into a personal relationship. When guys are not competing, it's totally different than when they're competing. You don't want to love the guy you're competing against, so it just doesn't happen.
Well, they not only have coached against each other for many years, but they also played against one another many years ago when Phil played for the New York Knicks. And Riley played for Los Angeles and Phoenix.
2 of the great coaches in the history of basketball right there.
Well, you know, and I don't think really, Danny, that this game really hurts the Heat. You know, I mean, I think that they've got to clean up some things, but they definitely know that they can play with this team, and this team is a great team.
And they miss P.J. Brown. Huge. I mean, P.J. Brown is their best post defender, and not having him in there was a big hurdle to climb.
There's Brown. Deshaun Leonard is next to him, and Dwayne Carswell. 3 players they could have used.
No, don't go there.
All right, two of the three.
That's the stretch.
Lakers win the second half, 58-34. Lakers go to an NBA best 56-12 record. They've won 22 of 23 games. And 13 consecutive wins at home for Miami comes to a close. Once again, our final score. The Los Angeles Lakers 100 and Miami 89. For John Thompson, Danny Ainge, and Craig Sager, and our producer Mike Birch, director Lonnie Dale, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Miami. We'll go to Phoenix right after this.
There's something special about the folks who work at AutoZone. The fact that they know more than a thing or two about looking up parts and solving problems. Their willingness to go the extra mile. And their belief in doing what's right. So it's no wonder why millions of customers turn to us each week for help in getting back on the road. Because working at AutoZone means taking pride in taking care of people.
Welcome to the Foot Locker House of Hoops. Today we're going to install a fire prevention system. Hey, Alan, how's it coming?
All fire systems go, Norm.
Well, let's give it a test, shall we?
Cool.
Boy, Alan sure is hot. Just like this Nike Air Diversity Up Tempo, which you can only get at Foot Locker. Well, that's all for the House of Hoops.
The roof is on fire!
I need a car?
There's a whole new way to shop for a used car.
No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Introducing Autotrader.com. With 1.5 million used cars updated daily, it's the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
Welcome to America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, home of the Phoenix Suns. Fourth best team right now in the Western Conference. The Phoenix Suns have fought through.
Bluebirds.
You've all made me very